All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video actually deserves, well, a reasonable video. And so, on that, I'm going to set you up somewhere where you might be able to see all right. Maybe here. Yes, that'll do. I'm just kind of seeing for the lighting. I'm using the front side of the camera now. I broke the back side in the upcoming video series you're about to see. Hopefully you'll watch it. Basically, I was done with the bows. I'm not a huge fan of rod bows, really. They do lose tiller, but they're not that bad. I did make a few that were really quite good. One of them turned out to be a short takedown bow. Now, I did carve into the riser, and honestly, if you're going to make the bow any higher than about 33 pounds, you do not want to be doing this shit. I did this. It's fine. I treated it hard with a lot of CA glue. And locked it right in. There's one solid shim that runs all the way through. So the whole thing is a solid block of wood. And then it's hollowed at the back and at the front for the limbs. Great way to go. Real simple. Put into a hockey stick section. It worked great, guys. But I made other ones that were higher poundage, and they all crushed themselves very quickly. Right around 33 was the highest I could go. And I wasn't a fan. I really didn't like that. I kind of thought I was going to be done with the archery thing. But then a couple of things happened. And the first one was one of the men who taught me archery, personally one of my favorite archery teachers of all the people that I learned from, reminded me that I had kind of made a promise that I would help to, well, they've always wanted a bow according to very specific goals. Okay, well, I built it. The bow is finished. This is my Navajo style war bow. It's 39 inches. It is about 55 pounds, and it will sling 24-inch arrows at its back end and do it with the kind of power that you will be shocked at. The shooting has already been done. The poundage testing has been done. This bow is completely finished. I'm just waiting for it to finish drying out, and it's only getting better as it does. The weight testing was done while it was still kind of moist. But the riser is rock hard by that point. Longer version. Standard war bow, that one's made for the horseback. This one, standard, out to 26. No problem. 50 plus pounds, shoots, awesome. It's got new features. Kinetic energy transfer has always been how bows work. So allow me for a minute to explain the way a bow works. You take energy, you transfer it through the string that's stored in the limbs, and shoot the arrow in the back of the ass with all that power. Bam. Kind of like a martial artist going duck and palm striking you in the chest. Only you put chi into that and really push all your energy into it, and it can actually be pretty strong. So the idea is you have a variety of levels of power. Let's say this is just a bare string. Those are just bare limbs. But what if I weight the limbs with wraps, stiffen this, which is the same kind of hockey stick riser in its core, with leather and hard treatment that made it solid, and fill it with the same treatment to make it rock solid inside with the limbs, 100%. This is a much heavier item in the hand, but very light still. The other one's feather light as well. But in the end, this has a lot of kinetic energy stored because of the weight in its limbs ready to unleash. In addition, if you look at its string, it has rabbit fur string silencers that are actually real rabbit fur with a little bit of leather attached. Now that leather I have wrapped around brass knocks, just like this little guy, and they are inside these little guys, so that they have extra weight inside the string silencer. I also fine-tune the locations so that the weight transfer happens at its most efficient. Then lock those into place. I've also treated the string, as you can see. That's why I wanted decent lighting for this. That should show the shine real nice there. So there's a lot of things that have been done to this that haven't been done to that. And even though that is a 60-pound bow, and this is a 50-pound bow and way lighter at the poundages I'm shooting, because I did the demonstration with 16 and 18-inch arrows, and that one is at 46 pounds at 18, guys. This one is at 52 pounds, or sorry, at 55 pounds, but at 24 and a half inches. While, or sorry, just at 24. So, I mean, you know, it's a little different. This one comes on fairly soft, but draws really strong. And because of the twist feature and all the kinetic energy stored, also the twist feature. So I reasoned that if I twist the limbs and they untwist, just like a martial artist going duck versus doing this and twisting as I strike you, it hurts a lot more, trust me. I know from experience. Karate is how I know, and Kung Fu for a lifetime. Trust me, it's true. So what I reasoned was that if I twisted the limbs, as they snap back and untwist, they'll be more powerful. So I needed to make them, as they stretch out, they twist. So when they snap back, and I thought, no, that won't work. It's got to be the other way. And then snap back. So I tried it. Well, it worked. And when I twist the limbs, as you pull this bow open, you can feel that you're twisting the limbs. In fact, if you twist the handle to the right as you do it, you'll untwist them a little more, and you'll get a little more arrow speed. If you just grip the riser tight and pull, you'll get a nice combination of arrow speed and pound and actual momentum. And if you twist to the left, you lose a little arrow speed, but you get a lot more penetration. It's like it goes into armor piercing mode. It's badass because it has a ton of weight to transfer into the arrow. And as soon as you start adding that little bit more torque, the whole thing rips arrows through targets. It's brutal, guys. So this is a true war bow, and this is easy to pull, easy to wield, light to carry all day, a beautiful, wonderful little bow to shoot, easy to control the moisture in, and could give a shit when it gets limp noodle effect from water being in the limbs. Because it has a fiberglass rod, you can always pull the hard shots. And because you have a backing for the rod, they don't just shatter until you've really put a hard pounding on them. And as I found, even when they break, all that happens is your tiller starts to go out a little bit. And you can still shoot the damn bow. You can still finish the war or the defense and then have it and fix it after. The problem with these is they are very hard to fix. Once you break them, they're trash, but they're cheap to build. They're easy to build. They don't take nearly as much time as a wood bow to build. But if you get the limbs overly wet, they will take a long time to dry out, just like wood. So I figured I'd give you guys a heads up on why I would come back with more archery videos. I did say that was going to be the end of the series. But it was because one of the Navajo people that taught me archery was using some of my videos to teach his students, and found out that I hadn't done a serious short bow. And he was wondering why, because as a kid, I was very much into heavy short bows, and that's all I wanted to have, really. And I had gotten into longbow in competition, and he knew that. And that's all I had really shot after that was compound bows and crossbows and stuff for hunting. And I never really got back into archery. I started serving, and I stopped shooting at all, any kind of bows. And so for a long time, I didn't shoot any bows. I wasn't doing any archery at all. And then I got back into it and started doing the rod bows, and it's kind of led to one thing after another and gotten me more and more serious back into archery. So I hate to do this, but at the beginning of this series, I say in one of the videos that I'm not wearing a shirt. And the reason I wasn't wearing a shirt is so that you could see my physique, because I'm a 50-year-old man and I used to be in pretty shitty shape. And I'm not now. Because, baby, I'm back. I used to be a strong guy. I was a martial artist. I can still kick. I can still get my foot up, even in really tight jeans. Like, I'm okay. But I can also be real smooth about it if I want to be, because I'm actually real good. And for me to start losing my physique was a really serious thing for me. It hurt deep inside to look in a video and see the back of here was all saggy, and not anymore. Okay, so enough of that. But you'll notice that I didn't wear a shirt. And I knew, getting back into archery, that was my ticket to get back into shape. I have heart and stroke problems, so I can't just do, the kind of stuff that I used to do. I can't do heavy calisthenics. I can't do anything, really, but I'm starting to get back into shape now. And the reason is primarily having bows that I like to shoot. And being able to make my own bows means I can make them in the poundage I need to. And I said at the beginning of the video series, your poundages will go up over time. Well, I wasn't lying to you because those were my poundages then, and that's what I looked like then, and these are my poundages now, and that's what I look like now. And I'm stronger. I feel better. But I'm still not as big as I was when I was working out all the time and doing serious martial arts. I'm still almost 50. But I feel better about myself. I have better strength. I have better grip. I have better energy. And I feel healthier. I feel happier. And all those things are good. Plus, in my old age, I'm bored. I'm retired due to injury. I didn't have a lot to do. I can't do the hard workouts I used to do due to brain injuries. I get really serious headaches as soon as I start getting my blood pumping too much. So I can't, and then I'm at risk for a serious stroke. So what I do is I just relax and I shoot arrows, man. And it's awesome. And it's been a good workout for me, bud. I'm actually gotten back into pretty good shape. I figured I would get in better shape, and I thought I'd show that it can really have that effect on you. Because I remember the effect it had on me when I was a teenager. And I was working out then. But even still, I started doing archery and shooting 80-pound bows as a 12-year-old, and everybody was looking at me like I was the scary guy at school. Because I got big. I got big over a summer. And I came back to school and I was cut and I was mean looking, and people like, man, what the fuck was that guy doing all summer? And they're like, apparently he won an archery competition. And they're like, archery? Shooting arrows? And the guy's like, yeah, but apparently the bow he's using are like 100-pound pull, 80-pound pull in competition. And they were right. I had just broken the world's record for being the youngest person to be able to draw a 100-pound bow on record. All right. They had a point. I was kind of jacked. But this is the thing. I grew up playing football and doing that kind of thing. And I wasn't a small guy, but I'm not huge. I'm just under 6 feet. But for a guy that's under 6 feet, I was always pretty big. But I was never like a bully type. I was always real calm about it. I'd never even noticed really. And it's not, I didn't, you know, what's funny? It's like, I'd never noticed I was big until I got smaller, till I started shrinking. And I started noticing how much I had shrunk and how much more I kind of noticed people walking by and I looked like them now. And it's like, I'm at, man, did I really look that jacked up before? Because I didn't feel jacked up. Like I just felt like myself, you know, half full of energy and happy and good to go. And it's amazing how that works, you know, how your physical fitness is related to your personal energy level, and how you feel about yourself is so related to how you see yourself in the mirror. And that's one of the reasons why for me this video series is important, because it helps other people. I mean, archery is one of the best hobbies that you could ever get out there. I got into RC. I love RC, but it costs a lot of money, man. Archery, but it gives you nothing really back. Like I never got physically fit from playing with my RC toys. I never built that, but it intellectually builds your physique. It's great in a whole other kind of ways, as your hands are getting more precise and your hand-eye coordination increases. I mean, it's a really great hobby, but it's nothing like archery. Archery is a whole nother thing. Archery is like the Zen of physique, of controlling your body and control with smooth precision and precise stored energy. That's a precision release, which is what life is. You are stored energy, and you're going to release that energy, hopefully, in precise and productive ways, just like a good bow. I have designed bows that store like energy like crazy and go pow and smack you in the face with it at 350 feet per second, leaving you going, oh, wait, what? No way you got those arrow speeds out of that bow, guy. But I did. And other things I've done have caused other people to go, oh no, there's no way you could have done that, man. That's bullshit. Yo, you guys are so going to be calling bullshit on this series because of how fast these bows are and how much penetration I get. And the arrow target I'm using is custom made, and it's built to reject arrows. It takes hunting arrows and stops them cold if the bow is 30 pounds or less. They won't even penetrate. They won't get 6 inches into that, let alone go through it, because it's 7. And what it is high density foam that gets progressively harder. And the original arrows I was using in this series actually were bouncing off it when I built it. And then I started working on the penetration and making them better and better until they penetrated through it. That's what you see up to and the black rod bow. Well, there's been a long time of me making content between then and now that I just didn't bother to put up. I can show you a dozen other bows that worked out okay, but they weren't enough that I thought, yeah, I need to upload all that, because they're not much better than the longbow. They're just different. Putting it in a hockey stick riser is better because it gets faster speeds with a smaller bow and takes higher strains, and just it stores energy better. It gets a little bit better arrow speed. But in truth, over that one, it loses a little bit in penetration. And the reason is it's 5 pounds heavier than the longbow at a much shorter draw. But in the end, it loses out because it has much lighter limbs. The longbow has wrapped limbs with wrapped, built up limb tips for that exact reason. It's specifically weighted. The string is heavily treated and it's weighted and it has silencers that are weighted and all that stuff. It is a badass little bow. But a lot of that excellence that it has, even though it does have some flaws as a rod bow, it's too flexible, and that's a horrible thing. This is a superior bow, much more stable. But as you can see, there's still a lot of flex this way, and that's just how it is. Now, in any bow, there will be some, but the more solid the limbs, the better it is. Whereas when you bow one of these, you really don't feel that at all. It's just gone, and they're really solid. And when you do twist the limb, you're twisting the string the opposite way to hold it in alignment as you stretch out. This bow, you do that. You're twisting it, and it's neat. It's like a light workout with both hands. It's awesome because for once I feel the bow in both arms instead of just in one. I'm not getting punched or beat up by it. It's not that kind of feeling. I mean, I normally don't feel anything in my left arm. I could shoot 1,000 shots and I go, ah, my hand. But I never ever go, oh no, my left arm, ow. What I am doing is drawing with my right over and over again, and it's doing all the work. Whereas with this, because you're twisting and drawing out, you're actually doing the work equally with both hands, which takes more of the strain out of your right hand, believe it or not. On top of that, this has a very soft draw. And between the two, it's weird. It's like it has good feel, but it's lighter draw weight. It's softer draw. But for the amount of power it has, it's retarded. Like you shoot it and you're like, wait, what? No way that just worked that well. And that was the reaction I had the first time I shot it. And because it's that good, I had to do another series. I did come up with some other rod bows. I am going to end up showing all of those to you guys. I have a bunch of stuff to show you. It'll probably take me another 6 months to show you all the stuff that I've built over the last 3. And if you don't believe me, come with me. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I did show you one more that is over here. True that. But then there's the darkness. Because I got a whole bunch more of them, guys. The wall's full of them. And this house is surrounded by, I'm literally surrounded in this house by bows I built. Because I built so many this year. I mean, looking around, the living room is a pigsty. It's been nothing but my work area since the boys moved out of here because the couches were too damn uncomfortable. Luckily, I'm the only, I can actually sit on them. They're actually comfortable for me. I like a really, really hard surface. So hard I slept on a floor most of my life. And they like a really soft surface. Like most people, to me, their couch would be so soft I can't even sit on it. I go to most people's houses, it'll wreck my back. I've broken it twice. So for me, this couch turned out to be perfect, and it's actually real comfortable. And I love the shit out of it. It's about the only couch I've sat on in 20 years that I could actually stand to sit on. And it just so happens it was given to us by our neighbors. So we were really lucky. Um, but at the same time, I happened to give my roommate his bed, and now he's sitting on that. So it's like it's all kind of balanced out. It's like half the stuff we have was gifted to us, and we're very blessed. And I like to share what I have pretty equally. I won't just give you my stuff because I make it, but I teach you how. And it's so cheap, so easy to make. You could easily make any of the stuff that you see me making, and I'll show you how. I'm sorry for the really long babbly video, you guys, but I figured it deserves a good video, this. It really does. These videos deserve to be of better quality than they are because the content is awesome. These are amazing little bows. The rod bow was good. These are way better, guys. Way more stable in their characteristics and performance. Higher speed, nice draw weight, nice lengths. They're really nice overall bows. All 4 of those are excellent. But I also have some other ones. Some of them made for hunting and made like the bamboo bows. But this one's pretty rough. Was actually built out of scraps. I said I'd show you what happens when you peel up riser, well, allow me to show you. Right in there is the evidence that I was referring to. You see that? Just like the camera on my phone, which you'll see the evidence for in this upcoming video series. This is the front camera for a reason. The back one is smashed until I get a new phone because of the arrows. But you'll see that coming up. It was pretty cool. Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. And I promised you I would show you how to build cool bows that were better than a traditional rod bow and better than a PVC pipe bow. I didn't lie. That technically my rod bow was. It was good. It actually shot real good compared to those. But these are better. The limb speeds are even faster. See, one of the problems with that one is because I damped it with tape, I use that to partly damp the limbs. Well, in this case, with these bows, I've used a special treatment. Filled in the riser, which I show you. And I'm not even recommending you buy that particular one. In fact, it turned out you could use just about anything. But epoxy wasn't the best, believe it or not. Bamboo shims with CA glue turned out amazing. They harden really nice with the glue, but they have just the right amount of give. And they let me shim up my bows, glue them in place really hard with the shims, pull out the limbs, glue the whole pocket in place with CA glue, soak it, coat it. It's such an easy build, guys. I do show you how to go about it in steps in this series. But what you'll see is there's a ton of videos here, and I'm going to start right away with this treatment because, well, it was experimental. It's not the one I used as a kid. I am going to find you guys the right treatment to recommend, but for now, these bows don't need them. So instead of showing you the war bows right away, I still have to show them to the council, the tribal council. And the reason is sometimes when a village gets a new weapon, neighboring villages will feel threatened and want to attack. And I think that because they're awesome, they indicated that, well, they wanted to share that with the neighboring tribes. So I will talk to them before I release any videos on that, in any more detail, or show how it really works or any of that, or how exactly it's made. But in the end, it's a pretty good design, and it works real good. But it is very unique. It has a ton of little features, and all the angles have to be perfect and all that stuff. It's why I didn't show any of them. It's why I don't show it to you in any detailed bode. But it works real good, which means I know they could use it, and it will help with their survival. And I want them to be able to build them and see if they like the design, because it is exactly what they asked for. That being said, even if they don't like it, it's an awesome bow. It's so awesome. I'm deeply impressed. It will be my new hunt bow. That being said, I'm planning a bush trip this year so I can go out. I actually had the Wildlife Society here call me, and they basically wanted me to come in and take care of some animals, and they asked me to volunteer at the local animal shelter. Only this is an animal shelter for big predators, big cats, bears, that kind of stuff, wolves. And most people are uncomfortable around them, but I used to live in the wild with them and take care of them. And so they know I'm comfortable. I'm retired now. And they basically asked. And honestly, I would have said yes, except that, well, from where I am, it's about a 2.5 hour walk each direction minimum if I'm booking it. And I'm too old for that shit. I have no money. I don't even have a bus pass every month. In welfare, believe it or not, you may think they're cool. Yo, if I go to them and say, hey, I need a bus pass so I can go volunteer, they're like, no, dude, if you're getting a job and you're getting off welfare, we can give you that. But if you're sticking on welfare, we're not giving you a damn thing. Sorry, son, you're lucky you get this. And that's about it. I mean, I'd be on my own for a volunteer thing. So I'd have to walk there, and I really can't do that. However, they did bring up an interesting point. I have rescued a lot of animals, and somebody basically accused me of having an illegal snake. Well, her name's Dora. She's a ball python, and they are illegal. She's like 5 feet long. She's a little cutie pie. Her head's about the size of my thumb. She is just the cutest little darling pie. I've got video up on her there. She's just a little darling. Uh, by the way, Daddy Dora Day. I decided I never knew her birthday, so I picked a day. And it turns out the day I got Dora, I actually uploaded video on Facebook. And it's the 19th there of a couple of months ago. I won't really say that's between me and Dora, but she now has a birthday. And instead of a birthday, though, because I don't know when she was born, she's got Daddy Got Dora Day, which is the day Daddy got Dora. Why? Because that's the day I'll celebrate. She's that kind of awesome pet. I've had her for a little over 5 years, and she's just been a joy.
there's lots of things in my life that have brought me a lot of joy, and believe it or not, archery is one of them. And I enjoy the shooting. I enjoy the patience of it. I enjoy building the bows. I enjoy all these things. Practice, um, getting myself in shape. All that stuff is really good for me. So I highly recommend all that, guys. I'm sorry about the bad lighting in the next couple of videos, but luckily that's only, or sorry, in the last couple of videos, but luckily that's only right at the end of the series that I broke the camera. The rest of the time, the videos were as usual, piss poor but legible. Um, Partly I do that so they can't commercialize them. It makes it way harder to do that. If I make them too commercial, then they end up being commercialized, and I don't really want that. I want you to be able to watch these boring ass videos without commercials, man. You're welcome. Keith.